Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. Yes, once again, I apologise if you do not like the surroundings of the original gaff, then you're just going to have to deal with it. Wanted to once again watch the game with the father. So I'm sitting here from the old room, ready to go. Very bright white light ahead of me. I don't know how bright it is. I don't know if it's going to be annoying, but it's better than what it looked like beforehand. Very dull dreich day here in Glasgow. Love that word. But not so much in the football park. Celtic 2, Motherwell 0, Celtic 2 I should say. A win, back-to-back away wins for Celtic. On a day which has closed the gap a little bit as well. I'm not going to dive too much into the opposition's result, but we do know that Rangers drop points. Celtic get 3 points. Overall, a spectacular day for the Celts. And a performance that was very nice as well. Nothing too incredible, but certainly I think a nice progression from what we've been seeing under Ange Postecoglou, and something that has been a little more reassuring than what we've seen in previous away trips. And I would probably say a bit more of a natural progression as well from that last game against Aberdeen. Motherwell are a team who have started this season superb. They've been fantastic for a team that had a lot of question marks around them, a team that I myself was very critical of in their summer window. They were a team I didn't think would do well at all, but you know, they're flying, they're having a great start to the season. Tony Watt, Van Veen for example have been on fine form. It was never going to be easy heading to Fir Park today with the kind of football they've been playing so far this season, but Celtic went there and we weren't challenged at all, and I'm not going to just put that down to Motherwell not appearing on the day. Celtic done everything today to make sure Motherwell didn't grow into the game, to make sure Motherwell didn't really get going. We were brilliant from back to front, I thought, and as I said, it wasn't an overly spectacular performance, but everything from the basics sort of view was spot on from Celtic today, and I thought it was a really all-round comfortable performance. It really sort of took me back to those sort of performances that we had under Rodgers, for example, where we would be winning games, we'd be playing well over the 90 minutes, we'd be getting the job done. We wouldn't be going out and you know, we had the games where we wouldn't go and we wouldn't win 3-4, 5-0 or whatever. We'd just get the job done, and that's what Celtic done today, and they made sure from the start they were the side that was comfortable, and they took the 3 points. Now, I'm not going to say that Motherwell were woeful and there wasn't any points to the game where I was a little bit on edge, but overall, I thought Celtic were in complete control today, and I would be lying in saying that I thought there was especially when we were 2-0 up, I'd be lying in saying I thought there was any chance of us squandering what we had. I thought that we just looked like we could do something. There was moments where we could have been better, but I thought, you know, we were always in the front foot, we were always the better side, and one way or another just had that feeling behind it. You know, you watch certain games, you watch them and you think, yeah, we're winning this today. There wasn't really an ounce of doubt, and I'm very happy about that. So let's do the 3 things that we've learned in the normal fashion that we would, and let's take it right back to the start, go through the game, and then for the end of the video we will talk about those 3 things that I believe we learned today. So the team selection I thought was fine. A couple of surprises. I didn't think that we'd see that Rogic and Turnbull connection in the team again. I thought we would maybe put that to bed and we'd see Beaton, maybe even a McCarthy or such come in once more. We didn't. Rogic and Turnbull did start the game, and I think there were still signs of that sort of partnership not being great. Turnbull was incredibly frustrating today, I thought, up to his goal, and fair play, shut everybody up. But I think if you look on Twitter and you look on social media and you look at the sort of reaction that Turnbull was getting throughout the game, he wasn't having the best sort of impact on the game, and he certainly wasn't having the best sort of impact on the supporters. But he pulled it back with that wonderful goal. But it was there once more. Rogic does brilliantly to obviously assist the first goal, but I still think there is work to be done there between those two. I'm not sold on it, I'm not fully convinced on the two of them in the middle, but they started the game nonetheless. Bolingoli was brought back into the team, which we'll come on to later in the video. I was surprised by that. I didn't think he would be back in the starting 11 anytime soon. But with a big European game on Tuesday, I suppose it was an opportunity for Ange to sort of experiment with the side a little bit. But those were the only 2 sort of things that surprised me, and from the start, as I said, we were great. The first sort of instance in the game, though, when Hart, Ronaldo chopped whoever it was, that had me on edge a little bit. Yes, it was successful, yes, it was nice to watch back in the highlights, but Christ almighty, I must admit, this whole playing it back to Hart and keeping it within the sort of 2 centre-halves and the keeper is keeping me on edge. I don't think we've quite mastered it yet. Yes, we won today, and that's what I'm happy about. There still has to be work done there. It's not convincing me. I still feel like it is very sort of touch and go, and you're a sort of misplaced foot away from being on the back of conceding a goal. So there's still work to be done in there, and that was shown in sort of the first sort of Motherwell exchange of the game. But from that point on, we were good. I think we controlled the pace of the game. We go up, and the first goal was lovely. Everything about it. Rogic's pass is pitch perfect. It's fantastic. Inch perfect. Sorry, it's just brilliant. Inch pitch perfect. He's no fucking singer, Brian. It's inch perfect. And Jota's finish is absolutely tremendous. Jota is adding so much to this side, and I've said it time and time again since he has started playing for Celtic that £6.5 million is becoming increasingly more evident that we should be spending it. We should be spending the £6.5 million on Jota. He's someone who's going to add so much to this Celtic side. For a long time, still a young guy, and if he's playing like that, then I think it's a no-brainer. His finish is fantastic today, because I think, especially with Celtic, and I'd imagine that a lot of people will agree with me here, especially with Celtic, there's a lot of times guys go one-on-one with a goalkeeper, and they've got a great opportunity, and for some reason the finish isn't there. It could be, I'm not talking about anyone in particular, I'm talking about any instance over the past sort of, I think more specifically the last 2-3 seasons, but through one-on-one with the keeper, and we've put it wide, we've hit it right at the keeper, the decision making hasn't been there. Jota's finish today is superb. He doesn't think twice about it. He puts it in the back of the net at the near post of the keeper, and you're laughing. You're 1-0 up, and the game is sort of calmed down, and that's what I liked about today. We got the early goal. We didn't waste any time. We got a goal in the first half. Far too often over the past 2 years, we've seen Celtic struggle to grow into the game early on. We've seen them struggle to get an early goal. You go into half time at 0-0 or whatever, and the second half becomes all the more difficult because suddenly the away team are feeling comfortable, and you're not really asking any questions of them. But we had a goal, and that was great. We had to settle the nerves a little bit, because, let's be honest, for a Celtic side that's still growing under this new manager, the nerves are still there. That's evident. Willie Collum goes down with an injury. Bizarre. Down for quite a while. Don't know what happened to him, but Willie's away. And yeah, going to half time, I thought we were in a great position, felt comfortable, but we really needed that second half goal. And once again, early in the second half, we get the job done. David Turnbull's strike, yes, it might have not been great throughout the entirety of the game. But that finish is fantastic. It's a great shot. There was an instance though in the first half of Turnbull, and he shoots. He goes on a really good run, and he's so open. There's so many options around him, and he doesn't pass the ball. He's got options. He's got Jota, Kyogo, and maybe Abada, and he shoots in a rush. He doesn't think about it. He doesn't generate any power behind the shot. It's a daisy cutter that goes wide, and I'm thinking, what are you doing? We've just eliminated this through Christie. Now you're bringing it into the team. I mean, you can't have that. That it's just backwards. But the strike in the second half is tremendous. But he's used his time there. He's thought about it, and he's generated a shot worth taking, rather than that one in the first half, which came off the back of a brilliant run, and he doesn't really set himself up for it. But 2-0 up early in the half, and we could have got more, and we probably should have got more, I thought, today, Celtic. We should have pushed for a little bit more, but, what was really, and I'm going to come on to the first thing that I thought I learned from today, was we are growing as a team. I said for the Leverkusen game, I said for the Aberdeen game, we've been too reliant on Kyogo. And I said in the preview, I think, as well, yesterday for this game. We've been far too reliant on Kyogo. We've been far too sort of, Kyogo gets the goals, Kyogo gets out of jail. We've been too reliant on that. And that's been a real downfall for Celtic, because the rest of the team have let us down at points. Today, Kyogo had a very quiet game. He wasn't in it that often. I don't remember ever saying, here's Kyogo going. He was really quiet. I don't know if it was down to service or just himself. I think he'll be slightly disappointed, but look, he's done nothing wrong. He just had a quiet game. But with him having a quiet game, other guys stepped up. We still got goals, and we looked comfortable. That's what I'm more happy about. I don't care about how many goals we scored with Kyogo having a quiet game. What I care about is the rest of the team looking comfortable while Kyogo has a quiet game. And that's what I thought we've seen there tonight. Or today, I should say. It's getting dark outside already, so it feels like a tonight. So I'm buzzing about that. That aspect of it, yeah, very happy with, very pleased with. And I'll take that. That's, I think, the first thing we've learned, that the team are growing. And we're looking less reliant on Kyogo, I think. And we've seen glimpses of that as we grew with him being injured, but it was really difficult. And then when his impact came in from coming back, you're starting to think, okay, maybe we are too reliant on him. But today, I think we showed a real growth as a team. Yeah, there's rest of the second half, as I said. Job well done. Keep Motherwell out of the game. A couple of little mishaps here and there, silly fouls and such. But listen, we controlled the game well, and the game management I thought was actually very good for a change today. I thought the game management was there, it was spot on, and we didn't have to worry ultimately. So let's get to the end of the video. I've been talking for quite a while now, and a basic sort of win for Celtic, which I'm chuffed about. I'm chuffed about that gap closing a little bit as well. The second thing, I think that Carl Starfelt has grown into a magnificent game. Not a magnificent game, Ryan, calm down, don't exaggerate it, son, but he's grown into a game, and people need to start looking over the early days of Carl Starfelt. They need to. Yes, it wasn't great when he first came through the door, and yes, there was questions to be asked, and I'm not saying he's the finished article. If anything, I'm going to say it right now, he'll probably make a howler at some point soon. It's just due to happen, it's the Celtic way. The guy will probably have a stinker and everybody will be back to throwing shite on him. But I think over the last few games, he's looked fine. He's looked like he's really, really getting comfortable with the sort of system and the team. And today I thought that was no different. I really did think that he was good today. For as little as Motherwell did challenge us, when they did, I thought Starfelt was very involved defensively. There was a couple of occasions where he was just in, clearing the ball away, doing his job. A couple of occasions when he was on the ball, made a couple of good passes. I couldn't fault him today. And I think that kind of has been culminating over the past few games. So I like him, and I think people need to start acknowledging that he can be good. Just because he had a dodgy start doesn't mean we hold him to that. Players grow, players make mistakes, and they grow from it. I'm not saying he's the finished article, it's anything but that. Look, he's not perfect. He's still new to this, and new to Celtic. But I think he's been getting better, I must admit. Thing number 3, it's hard to pick, because there were so many things today that I could pick out from the 3 things that we've learned. Yeah, I thought Jota once again was great. I've touched on that. The crossing I would like to touch on, but I don't know if I want to waste my third thing on it. Because there's a guy I want to talk about in Volleyball and Golly as well. The crossing has to be worked on. We're going to kind of do 4 things we learned here. The crossing has to be worked on. The crossing's piss poor at Celtic, right? It's the only thing that annoyed me about today. Especially on that right hand side. My God Almighty, could he cross a tee? It looks like we're a professional football side off the back of winning a quadruple treble no longer than a year ago, and we can't cross a fucking ball. It pisses me off. It really does. We need to work on that. It has to be looked at. A couple of them were fine from the left. Jota had a couple of decent deliveries. I thought Bolly had one as well, but there was no one. It's on both ends, but especially on that right hand side, every cross that was coming in was going out for a fucking throw in or a goal kick. That annoyed me. That was the only real negative from today for me. That was it. But on a positive, Bolingoli, I thought had another cracker today. Not a cracker, but another good game today. Another fine game from Bolingoli. Just like he did against Livingston. That Livingston loss, there was 2 players in the park for me who I thought were okay or decent enough to have pass marks, and Bolingoli was one of them. And today I thought Bolingoli once again had another follow-up to that. And he's now starting to ask the question, I think, of should we be considering him more often? We're very quick to dismiss, as Celtic fans, him as an option, I think. And I'm guilty of that too. I'll hold my hands up, because when it comes to the left-back conversation and Taylor's not here, I'm suddenly jumping to Montgomery and Scales. I'm not really thinking about Bolingoli, because he is a sort of afterthought after last year. And I think we're all a bit guilty of it. If you're not, then fair play, but I think there's a majority of us that are very guilty of that. And today I thought he had another fine enough performance to suggest that, well, he's a left-back, an experienced left-back who was playing in the Champions League last season. We probably should be considering him over the likes of Montgomery, who isn't a left-back. So, yeah, that's the only thing I wanted to say at the end of that. But at the end of the day, it's 3 points for Celtic. It's a win. A win's a win, and I'm happy with that. And I'm happy about the result elsewhere as well. So, yeah, a positive drink tonight, perhaps, for all of us. But 3 points for Celtic is all that matters. Big Ange, it's happening. We're getting there, man. We're getting there. I'm feeling it. Brought back down to earth on Tuesday afternoon, I suppose. Make sure to like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and I'll see you all next time.